and healthy. Therefore, I need to affect my blood pressure and make it rise. Okay? So, this process that can happen from my GM, okay, was that right? My glomerulosa. The aldosterone can play a part in helping the body raise the blood pressure. But I have to, that's only one part of the raw, okay? Because it's the renin, angiotensin, aldosterone system. That means I got renin to deal with and angiotensin. That means for the body to work on the blood pressure, I'm going to be using the cortex area of my adrenal glands, renin, which will come from the kidneys, angiotensin, which will be from the lungs. This is why I was asking, had you guys ever heard them mention raw or seen it on a patient's chart? So raw, this portion of it, the aldosterone, because the R and the other A are going to come back to us. Okay? So the aldosterone portion, it will get secreted when the blood pressure drops. The baroreceptors give a sympathetic reflex. Angiotensin 2 is produced. We're not at that part of the system yet, okay? We're not talking about the lungs yet. I want you to remember this, though. So that will stimulate the adrenal cortex. Aldosterone will get released. Aldosterone acts on the kidneys. So for this process to work, this endocrine portion, the aldosterone works on the kidneys. It will want the kidneys to retain sodium. Water follows the sodium. Sodium and water, water, sodium, sodium, water. Okay? That means water gets retained. Blood pressure goes up.
So what happens if my adrenal cortex doesn't work?
Oh, you mean like if the adrenal cortex is not working at all?
At all, and my blood pressure stays low.
Oh, you're not going to be alive to even be worried about it.
No, I'm really, there's somebody I know who really has that. Like, they give her supplements.
Okay.
That was weird. They give her
What,
supplements.
now, do all three layers not work?
I don't know. I just know her adrenal cortex doesn't work, and her blood pressure is always really, really extremely low. And so,
Yeah, they're probably referring to this portion of it, not the whole thing.
Okay.
Okay, they're probably referring to this portion.
They were saying that if she continues her pregnancy, that it would be detrimental to her health.
Yeah, probably. Because it will be such a strain on the other systems and the maintenance. But she is on medications, though. She is on medications. Okay. Yeah, because if this system isn't working correctly to help keep blood pressure normal, there are medicines that people can take. But now, if all three layers of that cortex are not working, chances are that organism is not alive. So I'm pretty sure they're referring to this layer.
Probably, she probably just doesn't understand it when she told me.
Well, plus doctor, with the medical personnel, I should say, when the medical personnel begin to explain stuff to people, they explain it to them hopefully in terms they can understand. So, you know, that's usually how things end up being. And you may not get the whole story until you actually start researching and questioning the doctors and that sort of thing. So if this process is working, this will help raise blood pressure. But the other part to it, like I said, we haven't gotten to all of it. So when we get into the system of the kidneys, when we get into the system of the lungs, this is going to come back, okay? Because it will go, oh, wait a minute, do you remember aldosterone? And aldosterone working on the kidneys, this happening, that's going to come back to us in future chapters, okay? So this is very important, and working with the kidneys and the respiratory system, the lungs, will hopefully be able to control blood pressure. Now, cortisol, this one, I'm sure we've all heard of, right? All right, it's the one that contributes to the belly fat. I love this hormone. Yay! Okay, so it is a very potent glucocorticoid. So this is from my middle layer, right? My fasciculata, where I'm going to get my glucocorticoids. The weaker one is what we refer to as corticosterone. These get secreted in response to ACTH. Where does that come from? Firing. My hypothalamus. So, here's what it does. Stimulates fat and protein catabolism, gluconeogenesis, making a glucose molecule, releasing of fatty acids into the bloodstream. Under normal circumstances, it's a way for the body to adapt to stress. And man, do y'all know how many things can happen to the body from stress? It's a lot. I mean, I was even like, I was kind of like, you know, looking at things that happen in the body with stress, and holy cow, even dandruff. Okay? I was just like, what? Really? Well, y'all know I had to click on that and read it, right? Okay, so I did, you know, and I'm just sitting here and I'm just like, oh my goodness, stress, so much, too much stress. And so, you know, we tend to get under lots of stress, and that actually causes things to happen in the body, okay? But under normal circumstances where we're not under chronic stressors or under stress for a really long time, that sort of thing, all right, hopefully it will allow the body to adapt, and then anything that got damaged, let it go ahead and repair, all right, like overnight, for example. Well, the glucocorticoids, they can also have an anti-inflammatory effect. And yes, we do know they're used medicinally. People who get, for example, a cortisone shot. Okay? There's a lot of, anybody ever had one? Cortisone shot? No? Okay. Read up on it a lot. Make your own decision before you get one. Okay? The androgens are the primary adrenal sex steroid. Very little of the sex steroids, very little of it is estrogen. Majority of that's going to come from the ovaries. And once again, that is from ACTH, from the hypothalamus. The goal of the sex steroids is a lot of those secondary sex characteristics. But take a break, we'll talk about that when we get back.